to the Citizen channel. We're all staying safe and well. Another CITY130 special. Yes, we're celebrating the birth of Manchester City in 1894-95. Of course, we were knocking around for a little bit before then under various other guises. But as we're currently in, as I'm recording this 2024-25 season, this is a CITY130 plus a bit of change special. Obviously, we'll have a look back. The teams were playing home and away this season, so join me for all of these as we do them. Of course, all the league matches, European matches as well, and the odd cup special as well. So please enjoy. It's a feature I'm going to run all season. And today we're looking at City at Aston Villa. Yes, we look at the old and new with City at Villa. I'm recording this on the 9th of December 2024, so all facts and stats, etc. are correct at this time. And as I'm recording this, we're due to play Aston Villa on the 21st of December, so just a little less than 2 weeks away as I'm recording this. So depending when you're watching it, you'll certainly be watching it before the 21st of December 2024. If you're watching it in the way in the future, yeah, hi, how are you doing? So we'll have a look at some of the history between us. Our league record at Villa Park since 1897 is when they moved to Villa, and the first, of course, since we started playing them. We played them 82 times, we've only won 20, so not one of our most prolific grounds, although, of course, Aston Villa's early history was full of winning things, wasn't it? And but it seemed to sort of dry up a little bit. We've drawn 25, lost 37. Scored 97 goals, let 136 in. And our first ever league meeting at Villa Park was a 2-1 loss on the 21st of October 1899. No, I wasn't there, in Division 1, in the top division. And it was a title winning season for Villa, their fifth. Yeah, their fifth title, as they were the dominant force in English football at the time. They've only won it twice since that one, so yeah, they're not as dominant after the early 1900s and late 1800s. City, though we were actually newly promoted that season, pretty worthy 7th spot. It was pretty good actually under manager Sam Ormerod at the time. Our biggest win, well, don't have to go too far back, do we? The 12th of January 2020, a 6-1 win with an Aguero hat-trick. Yes, and we'll look at a game with another hat-trick before we finish. Our biggest loss was also our second visit to Villa Park, so it's the season after, of course, that 2-1 loss, and we lost 7-1. But Villa didn't have a great season that season. They sort of almost got themselves relegated, but yeah, so that was a 7-1 loss on the 1st of December 1900. So the new it's not a new millennium, is it? New decade, new century, shall we say, not a new millennium. Villa Park. Well, what about Villa Park? Well, in 1897, Aston Villa moved into Aston Lower Grounds, a sports ground in a Victorian amusement park in the former grounds of Aston Hall, a Jacobean stately home. The ground could hold about 40,000 at the time, so it wasn't too shabby. Before 1914, there was a cycling track around it. And also cycling meetings held, and it also hosted athletic events. During World War II, the Trinity Road stand became an air raid shelter, an ammunition store, while the home dressing room became the temporary home of the rifle company from the 9th Battalion Royal Warwickshire Regiment. German bombs caused £20,000 worth of damage to the Whitton Lane stand. Highest attendance at Villa Park was 76,588. I have seen that this place was supposed to hold over 100,000. They never got that high, unfortunately, never got that high, but a hell of a capacity. And on the 2nd of March 1946, they accomplished that 76,588 crowd for an FA Cup 6-round replay. It must be the FA Cup, the sort of pull of the FA Cup. If you think of City's biggest ever capacity was an FA Cup game as well. Their tie was against Derby County. Villa Park was chosen by FIFA to host 3 matches for the 1966 World Cup. There were provisions on that, though. The conditions were that the Whitton Lane stand became all-seater, so let's put seats in or benches. The players' tunnel had to be covered with a cage. Yes, well, became the norm in the 70s, while the pitch was widened by 2.7 metres or 3 yards in old money. 4 matches were also played there during Euro 96. In 1999, the last ever final of the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup took place there at Villa Park, and it also hosted. Were you there? I was there. One of the best atmosphere-wise charity shields, community shields I've ever been. Of course, the 2012 FA Community Shield, where we beat Chelsea, was at Villa Park as Wembley was being used for an Olympic football tournament at the time. And at that time, we were a bit disappointed because we hadn't had that many trips to Wembley, but of course, we're getting a bit bored of it now. But at the time, I was a bit frustrated that it wasn't at Wembley, but we've not had any problems since, have we? It hosted England internationals in all 3 eras. Held its first one in 1899, and of course it went on to hold more in the 1900s, and the most recent was 2005, so it's actually I don't think any other ground's done that. Hosted England internationals over 3 centuries, if you like. It's hosted around, I think it's 55 FA Cup semi-finals, more than any other stadium. And the club hosted the League Cup final in 1980-81 as well. Boxing has been hosted there. And in August 1985, it placed host to the first ever American football Summer Bowl, intended to be the English equivalent to the Super Bowl. I wonder what happened to that. Anyway, the stadium scene, of course, has a lot of big stadiums, various concerts as well over the years. And they do have plans to redevelop it, the North Stand. This would increase the capacity of Villa Park from just under 43,000 as it is now to about 50,000. Included in the construction of that is also a commercial entertainment venue dubbed Villa Live. In December 2022, the plans were approved by Birmingham City Council. The renovations were planned to be completed by UEFA Euro 2028. However, December 2023, President of Football Operations Chris Heck announced that the redevelopment plans have been indefinitely postponed due to early work would reduce the capacity to 35,000, and this was a time when it was planned to be done, where Villa were competing to win a place back, of course, in Europe's top competition, the Champions League. And it was thought at the time that this would be detrimental to the team's performance if they start to do things like start building and reduce capacity. So that's on hold at the moment, and there's no doubt that will be picked up again. Foot in both camps. We're going to have a look. We can talk of people like Joe Mercer, can't we? Legends, of course. But how about Ron Saunders? Yes, as Ron Saunders skulked away from Main Road after just about 5 months in charge in April 1974, his next stop was Villa Park, where he achieved a couple of League Cup wins. Very good. After a gap of 71 years, another First Division title. So he did pretty well. One of the best things Ron Saunders did for us, for City, was bring Dennis Tueart to the club, of course, and ironically, as we went to Villa Park for our first away game of the 77-78 season on the 24th of August, it was Tueart that would leave Ron Saunders regretting that decision, as he helped us demolish his Villa boys. So let's have a look back at that night, guys. The sides that night in front of a crowd of over 40,000. Were you there that night? A bit wet from memory on that one. 40,121 who were in attendance. The City side was Corrigan, Clements, Donachie, Doyle, Watson, Booth, Kidd, Shannon, Royal, Hartford, Tueart, and the sub was Peter Barnes. He didn't come on in this one. Villa was Rimmer, Gregory, Smith, Phillips, McNaught, Morton, McDean, Little, Gray, Cropley, Carradus. So obviously a couple of Carradus, an ex-City player, of course. Rimmer, an ex-United player. Sub was Cowans for Villa. So over to the match report that was put together by David Clayton. This is from the classic match in the July 2008 City magazine. So we're going to see what David had to say. Gary Owens dropped in favour of Brian Kidd, and the teams ran out to a packed Villa Park on a damp Wednesday evening in the Midlands. Ron Saunders was now in charge of Villa, and ironically his last act as City boss had been to sign Dennis Tueart from Sunderland, and it's fair bet he wished he'd never even heard of Tueart by the time the game had finished. Villa roared out of the blocks, intent on giving a noisy partisan crowd exactly what they wanted, and with just 4 minutes gone, John Dean put the ball past Corrigan to fire Villa ahead. It was a start City manager Tony Buck had dreaded. Yet, just 2 minutes later, it was the travelling supporters going wild as Tommy Booth headed home the equaliser. It had been an exhilarating start, and the next goal would be crucial. And both teams went at each other hammer and tongue, and Villa should have retaken the lead when Alex Cropley was twice presented with gift opportunities in the space of 4 frenetic minutes. Whether those misses put seeds of doubt into Villa's players' minds, that perhaps it might not be their night, is unknown. But on 28 minutes, Tueart scored his first of the night, recreating his spectacular League Cup final winner by scoring with an overhead kick from Mike Doyle's throw-in. There were no further goals in the first period, and the players were greeted by a torrential downpour after the break, with Buck asking for more of the same from his players. City looked slick, their passing was smooth and incisive, and Villa's threat was occasional but not constant, and when they did break through, Corrigan was at his commanding best. Booth, Doyle and Dave Watson were magnificent at the back, and the home team's will began to weaken as it became clear the Blues were hell-bent on returning north with all 3 points. It wasn't until the final 6 minutes, however, that the City fans could relax. Typical City. First, on 84 minutes, Tueart took advantage of some hesitant defending to make it 3-1. Then 3 minutes later, Tueart was celebrating his first away hat-trick after Kenny Clement's long clearance left him through on goal as former United keeper Jimmy Rimmer ran out. Tueart chipped it over his head to complete an emphatic 4-1 win. It'd been a fantastic night for City and Tueart in particular. So my thanks for that match report. Before we go, current manager, yes, interesting. Unai Emery, of course, is already considered by many to be Villa's best modern day manager, and you can think of managers like Ron Saunders, who won a league title, a couple of League Cups, and of course we had the old Ron Saunders was actually in charge and took him into Europe to win that European trophy, but of course he'd gone by then, so obviously perhaps as far as best manager concerned, it's a bit mean on Ron Saunders, but Unai Emery is getting a lot of plaudits at the moment. On the 24th of October 2022, Emery was appointed as head coach of Villa after they'd paid a buyout fee of a reported €6 million to Villarreal, a 7th place finish in 22-23. Don't forget he took over, Gerrard had been in charge and weren't doing very well with it. I think he took over Villa, who were just sat above the relegation zone at the time. And this 7th place finish was Villa's highest finish in the Premier League since the 2010-11 season. And this secured qualification for the UEFA Europa Conference League, the club's first participation in European football since that 2010-11 season, and Emery's 16th consecutive season of European football. Many sports journalists and pundits praised Emery's stewardship of Villa in such a short space of time. In the 23-24 season in the UEFA Conference League, Villa reached the first European semi-final since 1982, and on the 23rd of April, Emery extended his contract until 2027. He eventually led the club to a 4th place finish in the league, even better, securing qualification to the UEFA Champions League for the first time since 1982-83. On the 27th of May 2024, Emery extended his contract until 2029. As I'm recording this, he's doing okay. They're stuttering a little bit, but he's still doing okay. Well, there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little special CITY130. City at Aston Villa, looking back at time, 1894-5 to 24-25, 2024-25. Little specials, going to be more of these throughout the season. Hope you enjoyed it. Please spread the word if you can, guys. If you are new to the channel, please push that subscribe button. Push the bell notifications. It'd be great to have you on board. Everything City past like this, present, well, like this a bit as well, and everything going forward, as long as my voice holds out. So as long as I'm with you, I'll keep doing them. So I hope you enjoyed it, and press that like button as well, don't forget, guys. And if you do look through the channel for more City stuff, you'll see items on film and TV as well. Another passion of mine. You want to have a break from football, have a look at those, reviews, information, vlogs, etc. It'd be great to have you on board. Or if you don't like particularly bothered, if you know someone who might be interested, please give them a kick in my direction. And please, before you go, I'm always after help or support for the channel, and there's various ways of doing that. So if you can just please stay tuned for all my socials and stuff like that. Just stay tuned to find out how you can help me out going forward. I hope you enjoyed the feature, and if you can support me through the subscription, if you can subscribe, guys, that'd be wonderful if you've not already done so. We do actually have memberships at the moment, just 99p a month, so you get access to all my City stuff, including all the history vlogs, dozens and dozens not been published yet that you get immediate access to, and every time I do a edit and do a vlog, you get immediate access to it as well. So you can have a copy of scripts as well if you want any hard copy of the sort of things I do on matches and teams and managers and players, etc, etc. So if you can join the membership, that'd be wonderful. We do have sponsors at the moment. Tueart 6505 are our current sponsors. They have a little eBay shop, so if you check in the comments section, there's a link there to the shop. They sell movie posters from the 90s and 2000s. They sell DVDs, some classic Hollywood movies, some classic foreign language ones. And if you do see anything you fancy on there, if you do place an order, just mention me, just say Bernard sent you, and you automatically get 10% reduction in the cost of your order. So fill your boots, guys, and my thanks to Tueart 6505. And yeah, if you want to support the channel just by watching the ads, that helps. Watch the ads, let them play through while you just have to check your phone or something, let it play out. And of course, if you follow any of the links, that always works as well. If you follow a link to one of the ads and you fancy something, I've done it myself. I've followed a link and actually purchased something from another organisation. But it can happen. It can happen. Not all ads are stuff you're not interested in. And of course, if you can give us a like, guys, that's be absolutely fantastic. All likes are much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until the next time, of course, I only ever ask one thing, don't I? Please, I ask you all to stay safe, especially you Blues. Until the next time, come on, City. Bye for now.